Okay, welcome. This is Gretchen Hidell. If you are just joining me, I was having some technical difficulties, but I'm a full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And I'm going to be going over this week in astrology, starting on June 21st, 2121. Okay, because it's June 21st, going all the way until June 27th. So if you're just joining me live, welcome. I had to go on Facebook and then go log back off because you guys on Facebook were telling me that you couldn't hear me, but everybody can hear me on Instagram. So I'm going to do the same thing I did last week, where I talked with you all about this week in astrology. Now, this particular week is going to be one of those days where one of those weeks where every single day something is happening. So thank you everybody for giving me the little hearts and the thumbs up and the likes and the shares and all that good shizdizzle. That makes me feel good, and also it does help the algorithm. So I appreciate all of your love and support. That's amazing. And thank you for sticking with me. I've just had this crazy Mercury retrograde this time, and I'm just rolling with whatever's happening because it seems like this is going to be the theme for Gretchen for Mercury retrograde. So speaking of which, all right, so tomorrow Mercury on 6/22 Tuesday is finally ending at 6 p.m. Eastern time, so 3 p.m. if you're out on the West Coast. That's going to be this Mercury retrograde, and boy, it is has been very extra strong. I actually had predicted that. I don't know if anybody else has experienced a strong Mercury retrograde. If you have, definitely post below, but I have definitely. And Mercury is in its own sign, which is Gemini. Gemini and Virgo both share Mercury as their planet, their ruling planet. So basically, it's been in Gemini and it's been so extra strong. It got all the way back to 16 degrees Gemini. So if you happen to know where that is in your chart, or where Gemini is in your chart, that's basically where Mercury retrograde is landing, is 16 degrees Gemini. But it is going to be done. Okay, we do have the shadow period. Somebody asked about a shadow period. So the shadow period of Mercury retrograde is going to last until July 7th. And basically what that means is that, yeah, somebody said, I work in tech. It's been a mess, but I just laugh because it's so ridiculous. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been thinking. Lauren, hello. Chiron is in Gemini. Yes, I mean, it's been a lot. It really has been. Lauren said Virgo, Sun, Aries, Moon, Libra rising. Yes, very strong with you, you said. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what the deal has been. So we'll be in the shadow period. So basically what it means, technically what Mercury means to be in the shadow period is basically where it goes all the way back to where it initially turned retrograde. That's basically, it's almost like a car, right, that had to stop, went reversed, then it goes forward again, and it goes back to the original spot. That is basically what is the shadow period. It's this thing, okay? So when it's returning to its original position is the shadow period. Now, people ask me all the time, do I kind of plan things around the shadow period and this and that? I do not, because here's the reality. So Mercury goes retrograde for 3 weeks, 3 times per year. That's 9 weeks a year. But if you count all the pre-shadow and the post-shadow and the Mercury retrograde, then all of a sudden it's like 75% of the year. So like we don't want to give away 75% of our year, you know? I mean, we're just 9 weeks is all I give Mercury. So what I tell people is that you want to let it kind of do its thing, and it's a little, I always just say the shadow period's a little bumpy, but it's at least it's headed in the correct, you know, sort of direction and whatever. So I don't count the shadow period for when I'm planning and doing timing, because remember, astrology is fantastic for telling us what good times are and maybe not good times to do certain things. And so we don't want to plan around shadow and the retrograde and the post and the pre and all that kind of stuff. Hello, Iris, sitting with your mama. Hello, Monica, welcome. See my 76 said Gemini moon. Okay, so oh my gosh, you've been probably talking a lot. That's talking a lot about feelings. Shadow Phantom 3211. Oh yes, I know. Oh, that's Wendy. Welcome. Yes, I know. I don't know what the deal is, but I cannot seem to broadcast. I'm gonna see maybe if I remove the app and then put the app back on for Facebook and see if that kind of works. But I'm not gonna experiment with you guys tonight because I know you're interested in finding out what the stars have to say. So it's funny how we say that, right? The stars, and it's really I'm talking about planets. But anyway, I'm such a planet geek. It's just one of those things, astrology geek. So anyway, so Mercury retrograde is ending, and so it did back up, and now it's going to have to take a little while to get going forward again. And so that's what I always say. The shadow period is really it's just kind of inching along and getting back into the groove. So it's still having patience with things, but it's time to start going forward with your plans and all that kind of stuff. It's probably Mercury retrograde, and then all the tech stuff will switch. Yeah, exactly. Facebook will all of a sudden start working. Both of your computers were crazy last night, Shadow Phantom said. Hey Kathleen, Vermont Leo, welcome. So anyway, so that's happening on Tuesday. Like I said, 6 p.m. Did I say 6 p.m. on Tuesday? Because I am counting it down. I can't wait for it to go direct. Now, speaking of the next day on the 23rd, June 23rd, Wednesday, by the way, the first 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, the moon is in Scorpio, but tomorrow morning on Tuesday, it switches around almost 9 a.m. in the morning. It actually switches into the sign of Scorpio. Okay, so just so that you know, switches into the sign of Sagittarius. So it was Scorpio, it'll be Sagittarius. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday it'll be Sagittarius. Now Thursday at 9 o'clock in the morning also. So we have like 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, 9 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. The moon is going to be switching into Capricorn, and Thursday is the big full moon. And then we're going to be over the weekend in the astrological sign of Aquarius. So these are all the different astrology signs that the moon will be in. So if you think about it, that's fall, right? I mean, Sagittarius is like around, the week between like Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's. And then we get into Capricorn, which is like Christmas into like January, and then you get into January to February. So if you think about it, it's like late fall and then getting into winter. These are the moon signs that we're going to be in for this week. So we're going to have even though we just started the summer solstice, we're going to have a little return to winter. My mom joined Instagram. Oh my God, my jaw is on the ground to watch the broadcast. That's awesome. Everybody give my mom a round of applause there. That's amazing. Secretly, that is really, hey Patrick, can Mercury retrograde be over yet? Question mark, question mark. And if I remember correctly, you are a Gemini, so I'm sure you are counting down the days because Mercury has been retrograde in Gemini, and oh my God, extra Gemini. So on Wednesday is actually two very interesting but very different planetary things. On Wednesday, the sun is going to form a trine with Jupiter. Now, oh my gosh, that's one of the very, 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 very best planetary, that's one of those play the lottery days. Okay, I always tell people to go play the lottery when the sun forms a trine with when Jupiter forms a trine either with the sun or with Venus. I always say go play the lottery. So that's wonderful. Yay. And then also on the same day, Venus is going to oppose Pluto, and that's not wonderful. So it's like there's this mixed bag. Now we are all feeling those two planets even right now, like on Monday. remember, the height of it is just the peak and the pinnacle, but we're already kind of walking up the mountain, and then we get to the very peak. So Sun trine Jupiter. So the Sun currently is in the astrological sign of Cancer, as you know if you read my post, because we just had the summer solstice and the Sun went into the sign of Cancer, and it's going to form a trine with Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter is retrograde right now in the astrological sign of Pisces. So that's like feeling fest, okay? We'll just say, because it's both water signs. Yes, exactly. And then you have Venus, okay, who is also in Cancer, is going to oppose Pluto in Capricorn. Now, the only sort of caveat or downside to this whole, we're being in Cancer season, the sun sign of Cancer, is that when the planets get to the end of Cancer season, they all have to go past Pluto, opposing, in opposition, okay? So the Sun will go through and oppose Pluto. Venus is going to go through and oppose Pluto. Now, if you guys remember, all the way back on June 5th, at the beginning of this month, Mars was in Cancer and opposed Pluto. See, as the planets swing through, they're all going to oppose Pluto at some point at the end of Cancer. So when Mars opposed Pluto, there was like a big mass shooting again. It seems like every day there's been something, but there was like turbulence, in other words. Now with Venus opposing Pluto, for sure that can cause, anytime Pluto gets tickled, remember what I always tell you guys, Pluto is like kicking a hornet's nest. I mean, it can be hardcore because Pluto is the lord of the underworld, okay? So, I mean, he's pretty scary dude, and, you know, we want him to just kind of be like a sleeping bear, right? You just let sleeping bears lie. Except for now, when these planets, it's almost like they're trying to sneak out the door of Cancer, and then it's like, the door creaked as they were trying to open it and escape, and woke up Pluto. So that's kind of what the deal is. So in the morning, Sun trine Jupiter, one of the best things. It's going to highlight Cancer and Pisces. So of course, if you're a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, you will definitely be feeling that, because that's all the water signs. All these water signs are waking up this month because, you know, hello, it's Cancer season, and that's the sign of water. Okay, so we're going to be feeling. Water is a lot of feeling, emotion, compassion, empathy, sympathy, intuition, all that stuff. I mean, it's all the good, juicy, like, you know, weepy kind of, you know, things. We're nostalgic, and we're reminiscing, and we're feeling all the feels. It's all the feels, okay? So that's not a bad thing, actually. That can be a good thing, especially with the trine between the Sun and Jupiter, because those two are the largest. The Sun obviously is the largest in our solar system, planet, star, whatever, and then Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So those two coming together, it's like the Titans, you know. I mean, those two, and they're both the most optimistic and bright and sunny, okay, sort of planetary things. So that's all really good stuff. Like I said, the shadow on the other hand of that is when Venus opposes Pluto. So Venus is our love life. It's love and money. Love and money, love and money, love and money. And then Pluto is that intense, darker, you know, kind of energy. Now, Pluto is in Capricorn, so Capricorn wants us to organize and plan and make a list and check it twice and all that stuff. But when you involve Pluto there, basically what happens is it's really overly intense about it. So we got to make sure that we get optimistic, and we don't get too intense about things. I know it's going to be a little hard, but we can have some mindfulness and some, okay, Gretchen said that it might feel a little intense. I wish we could just stick with the sunny side of the street on this one with the Sun trine Jupiter, because that would be much better, obviously, but we can't get away from the Pluto thing. It just is what it is. So, and then the next day, when we get into June 24th, which is the full strawberry moon, that's kind of a fun thing to say, the strawberry moon. Um, oh, Lauren said Venus is opposing your Pluto on the same day. Oh my. Yeah, so what I would say with that, remember Venus is our love life and also money. So that's not the time to have that big kind of, don't give ultimatums, don't have those big conversations with your love life. It can be also can produce some jealousy and some it's just intense, so we want to make sure that we don't get too intense, but that's going to be hard to do because the very next day is the full moon. Now the full moon peak on the 24th is going to be the strawberry moon, and that's going to be in Capricorn, and that's going to be at 2:40 p.m. Eastern time, so earlier than that if you live out on the West Coast. Okay, so it'll be the sun and the moon are going to be opposite of each other. So the sun, like I said, just went into summer solstice, which is Cancer, and then the moon is going to be in Capricorn. 3 degrees Capricorn, so it's just over the border there in the very beginning of Capricorn. And so if you are a Capricorn or if you are a Cancer, you will be feeling this at ground zero. Or if you are a cardinal sign, so you can then throw in Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra, and you'll be feeling this especially if you have planets at or around 3 degrees. My sun is 3 degrees Aries, so I guess I'm going to be caught up in this this full moon also. I'm wondering what the deal is with all this planetary stuff. I almost want to kind of just lock myself away here. But we have that the Capricorn moon. And so Capricorn full moon, although I have to say, a few years ago this happened during the Capricorn full moon, and I actually won an award. So remember, full moons are a peak of a cycle, an end of a cycle, something coming to fruition, something that just kind of, it can be an ending, and it can be like this is the peak and now we come down the peak and we're done with that thing. But remember, it's an ending, something you want to purge, something you want to get rid of, or like I said, it's just a peak of a cycle. And then you have like I said, I won an award because, that was a peak of my cycle, I guess, at that time. That was a few years ago at this time of year, the same time of year, because it was the strawberry moon. I remember these things because that's what astrologers do. When you learn about astrology, you really, 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 you really start to honor timing, time, seasons, all those things, because really our way of telling time is the sun and the planets and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the way that we tell all of our calendars are either solar calendars or lunar calendars. So I mean, this is basically the study of that, and what does it mean from an energy sort of standpoint. It's not just time to eat lunch, it's time to, do this or that. So that's what these timings are. So when we talk about a peak, Farmer's Almanac would say if you were planting, this would be the cycle, the full moon is the cycle of harvest. So, you're peaking on that thing, you're picking the ripe tomato or the ripe, cucumber or whatever it is, and then you'll have that, and that's your timing. Oh no, Lauren, I'm so sorry you don't have those conversations. You just found out that your ex got married. Oh, that's really rough. Yeah, I mean, so all of those feelings can come up during this particular full moon. Now, it's good to know where 3 degrees Capricorn is in your astrological chart in order to know how it will affect you on a personal level. But if you are an earth sign, you'll definitely be feeling that. You'll be at ground zero as well. So if you are a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, all the earth signs will be kind of stirred up and feeling this Capricorn moon, full moon. But yeah, I mean, it's just a peak of a time. So, and it's highlighting the solstice, if you think about it, because literally, up here in the northern hemisphere of the world, we celebrated the longest day of the year, which is the start of summer. By the way, that's how we know it's summer, is the sun goes into the astrological sign of Cancer. That's literally what we call the solstice. people, it's always funny to me when people say, I don't use astrology. And I'm like, yes, you do. You just might not be aware of it because it's astronomy and astrology hold hands and skip down the road together. But also down on the southern hemisphere of the world, so if you think about, Australia or something, they're celebrating their winter solstice, which is the Capricorn, this Capricorn moon. So it's highlighting the two solstices, which I think is kind of fun. Somebody said CMY76 Taurus from Vermont. So glad I scheduled a massage. Yes, exactly. Shadow Phantom, Capricorn is in your 9th house. So that's travel, that's law and legal endeavors. And that is like news from faraway lands. Okay, so it's travel for sure. 9th house. And 9th house, a lot of people don't talk about this with 9th house, but 9th house is dreams. So if anybody, this could be a really, really fun video to do. Maybe when I get my Facebook fixed, I'll figure out how to do that. But this would be a really fun live video to do, like a dream interpretation video, because dreams are fascinating to me. But people often that have a lot of 9th house activity in their astrological chart often have very vivid dreams, dreams that come true. They might be able to do dream walking, like almost like a form of astral travel. So 9th house is pretty interesting when it comes to dream stuff. So if any of you have a lot of planets in that 9th house, that's an interesting one. So we have to think about, this is a Saturn ruled moon here. I mean, like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. We have to face that. And so it's not the most fun, light and cheery moon. We'll just say that. It is what it is, but it's just one of those things that it can be a little bit somber, a little bit sobering, a little bit about the to-do list and the 5-year plan and my vision board and what do we want for our goals and our future and all that. Because Saturn's all about the rules and all about structure and like how are you going to get your goals, not just what goals are they, but how are you going to reach those goals. And so that's a very Capricorn ruled moon. But if you think about, moon is our emotion, it's our feelings. You can't file away your feelings under J for joy or A for anger or whatever. Feelings are messy and very untidy. And so when you have a Capricorn moon, or the moon is in Capricorn, we want to be like a little bit more stern and objective and a little bit more, sort of like business-like, but our feelings aren't our business, it's not a business, like feelings don't make sense. They're often very messy. Feelings don't follow rules and patterns often. Sometimes they do, but sometimes, out of nowhere you can have a feeling and it might not seem to have any rhyme or reason that you can, kind of predict. So you could be watching a commercial and suddenly that could trigger a memory or something and you could have a feeling. So Capricorn moon has to always remember that to go with the flow with feelings, and not just to get into the doing and all the little tasks and the details and almost like, sometimes you just have to feel the feelings. And let other people help you, for Pete's sake. If you're a Capricorn moon is about, helping others, but Capricorns are always doing things, constantly. But like I always say to Capricorns, who's doing things for you? And they're usually like, nobody. So let people help you. You can let people know that you're struggling and having a problem. You can say that out loud. It's not a dirty word or a bad thing. Because sometimes if you say out loud, hey, I'm having a problem, somebody will go, hey, I could easily help you or fix that or whatever. I always say give people a chance, sometimes people really surprise you, which is cool. Terry Spirit, hey Terry! I love Terry's, I almost said daycare, but preschool, I guess it is, right? But she has a wonderful school. I love feelings are messy, especially for Capricorn. Yeah, for sure. Now, the next day on Friday, the 25th, is my favorite retrograde. So let's talk about that. I told you almost every day there's going to be something. So on Friday at 3:21 p.m., Neptune is going to turn retrograde. Now, I told you we're in retrograde season, so gosh, what do we have retrograde now? We have Mercury just today until tomorrow. We have Jupiter, we have Saturn, we have Pluto. Now we're going to have Neptune. So we're up to 5 of the main planets. I believe there is an asteroid Juno that's retrograde too, but just as the main planets, Neptune is going to be turning retrograde on Friday. Now, you might say, why does she like a retrograde? Usually aren't retrogrades bad? No, not Neptune retrograde. Neptune retrograde is the only retrograde that I actually like. Here's why. So if you think about Neptune, which is the very gaseous planet, okay, it's Mercury, it's murky, it's fuzzy, it's foggy. That's Neptune, right? So on a good day, that's Neptune. Neptune is like illusions, delusions, lies, can be scamming, it can be deceit, it can be all kinds of very kind of not so good things. So if you think about it going retrograde, so we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde coming to an end. So if you think about it, Mercury's the planet of communication, speaking, talking, orating, and travel. And what do I usually say? I usually say travel's going to be hard, communicating is going to be hard, right? Because the planet is retrograde, meaning it's not at its best and it's appearing to go backwards. So if you think about Neptune retrograde, Neptune is lies, illusions, delusions. I mean, it's spiritual, it's creative, it's very right-brained activity, it's like daydreaming and all that kind of stuff, but really it's not super duper. So if it goes retrograde, all of a sudden we're getting the truth, right? Because if it's the planet of lies, okay, an addiction, it's foggy, fuzzy. So all of a sudden it kind of switches into being a little bit more clear, into a little bit more direct, into a little bit more, okay? So I always say, if you want to know the truth, Neptune retrograde is your friend. Now, it can be sharp. We'll just say that I've had my experience with Neptune retrograde for sure, where all of a sudden it was like in my face, Neptune retrograde, and suddenly I learned that someone had been lying to me. It was like on the day it switched or the day after, but somebody had been lying, which is not a good idea to do if you're intuitive. Hello. I was suspecting the person was lying, but I wasn't quite sure, and then all of a sudden when it flipped, I got proof, okay, that the person was definitely lying. So Neptune retrograde can be your friend if you are having kind of any problems in that department, or if somebody you're not quite sure about, and what are they doing and what are they not doing, and I don't know. So Neptune retrograde can be your friend if you like the truth, okay? It's going to be at 23 degrees Pisces, and then of course it's going backwards, so it's going retrograde. But it can definitely be your friend if you've had any kind of problems like that. And it depends on where Pisces is in your astrological chart in order to know how that will affect you. My moon is in Pisces, so I like to have that, but Neptune retrograde is my one exception out of all the retrograde planets. That's the one that I like the most, because it's almost like the fog lifts from Neptune and you get to see the reality. Neptune can be very, very good rose-colored glasses. Okay, these are blue light glasses, but Neptune can be very good at at being rose-colored glasses, because you're looking at things with idealism and with great hope and a dream, and one day that thing's going to be. That's all lovely. Okay, I'm not saying that that's not a lovely sentiment and that's not a lovely thing, but sometimes it's not based totally in reality. And then if you really want to bank all of your hopes in your dreams, or if you're like, let's say, in a romantic relationship and you met somebody and you really, really like them, but there's just some things you're not quite sure about, all of a sudden Neptune retrograde happens, and you start to find out. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing, because I feel like we need to know the truth. Not that it has to be harsh, but it's good to know the truth. So there's that. So that's going to happen on Friday. Neptune is not moving at all right now. It's stationary retrograde, so it's just going to start going doop, a little bit backwards. But we're going to be starting to feel that all week, Neptune. So if you are a Pisces, that's your planet, and that might feel a little wonky for you this week, because whenever your powered planet goes retrograde, okay, just like I said, Gemini and Virgo have been definitely feeling wonky, because Mercury was their planet going retrograde. Now we have Pisces people. So if any of you are Pisces, let me know. Oh no. Shadow Phantom said it looked like I froze. I'm not seeing that on my end, but if somebody noticed that, let me know. I can't even with this technology. Maybe Shadow Phantom, maybe you're having technological. Kate said, not frozen. Oh, okay, good. Okay. I'm like, I can't with the technology, I can't. Joanne, okay, thank you. Thank you, you guys, you're awesome. Okay, so, and then the other day, so Saturday is kind of the one day where it's sort of, yeah, you know what? The East Coast is getting hammered right now. Next time, maybe I'll pull up the map and be able to show you guys the map. But the East Coast right now is getting hammered with storms, really, 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 really bad thunderstorms. We got some today in Vermont here, and it went through. It was crazy. So my internet got glitchy. Okay, so Saturdays are kind of one peaceful day. And then on Sunday, Saturday morning, the moon is going to go into Aquarius. And then on Sunday, we got Venus going into Leo. So that's, I don't know why, but that felt quick, to me. So Venus was in Cancer from June 2nd, and on June 27th, it will leave Cancer. So Venus is leaving Cancer, and it's going into the astrological sign of Leo until July 21st. So Venus is really only in each sign like roughly a month. And so we're going to be switching, okay? Remember I was talking about how Venus in Cancer is very motherly and nurturing and caretaking, and Venus is our love sign, our sensuality, how we express love. So if you have Venus in Cancer, that can be very caretaking and nurturing and almost mothering, okay? So you got to watch that. But we are switching that sign, Venus, into Leo. Okay, so 12:27 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday morning. So really overnight between Saturday and Sunday on the 27th, Venus is going to go into Leo. And boy, oh boy, that's a very different, that's the first planet to really get into Leo season, and that is a fire sign. And so that is man, you talk about love languages, that is a gift. Venus in Leo is very, 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 did I say very demonstrative, very over the top, wants lots of adoration, lots of gift giving, lots of sparkle. Okay, I got my rising sign in Leo, so that's a little bit about sparkle, and just having that Venus in Leo energy is very over the top. A lot of Venus and Leo people that I know are just they're very effusive, we'll just say that. So that, I guess, is also words of affirmation, love language as well. But they really like to be adored and appreciated and fawned over and just, all of that stuff. And we like having that. Venus and Leo is all about that. Lauren said, oh, Venus and Leo, yay. Her Venus is in Leo. That's awesome. Kate Christian saying Chicago southwest suburbs had a tornado. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Shadow Fandom, we need rain, but be gentle. Yes, we gotta have a safe word for Mother Nature lately. It's kind of crazy. The rain was coming down, and Vermont is parched. We're really dry. So We need rain, but gentle rain, Mother Nature. Like, we need like a super soaker for like 2-3 days where it's just like gentle, but like keeps coming. And that would really help to saturate the ground. But getting back to Venus and Leo is a fire sign. And so, you know, that's kind of the opposite of this water energy. All of a sudden we're perking up a little bit, and we want to be very effusive with our partners. Really, you know, if you think about what powers the sign of Leo, is the sun. And so everything revolves around the sun, okay? So when you have Venus and Leo, if you have it in your own chart, or if we're just in, you know, and you're feeling this energy, because we're all going to be collectively in the Venus and Leo energy for the next month, we might be this is a little bit more of an extroverted Venus. This is kind of getting out there. That would be a good time once Mercury gets out, you know, kind of straightens out for a little while. We might want to get out there and be on a dating app if you're single. This is definitely a time for entertainment, because Leo is the performer, so getting out with your partner to see shows, events, concerts, dinner. Again, you can't go over the top enough with Venus and Leo. Like, you just cannot, like, you have to be effusive and just like bringing sparkles and gifts and all kinds of things. That's the fun Venus and Leo thing. Now, we have to remember, Venus and Leo can be very about the ego, because the sun is all about the ego. So sometimes Venus and Leo can be a little bit too much like that. And also, we can't forget, Venus is also our aesthetics. You know, it's like our fashion, it's our design, and Venus and Leo is all about the hair, okay? Sorry, my dog's barking at the thunder. Venus and Leo is all about the hair, and it's all about that big over-the-top energy. Madonna, Whitney Houston, J-Lo, you know, that big energy, okay? That's, you know, very sparkly and very, like, fashion forward, I guess, is very Venus and Leo kind of energy. Lauren said extra is the word. It's very extra. Yes, it is very extra. So, you know, it's just very over the top. So you can't get enough loving with Venus and Leo. I think that can be a fun one. And that's definitely about going out and not only looking nice, but going out and showing off. You know, that's a very Leo thing to do. So I hope that helps. Oh my gosh, there was a tornado north of Montreal. Jeez. Yeah, it was like pretty hardcore here in Burlington, Vermont. That is for sure. So that is this week in astrology. We have like quite a bit. So I will recap at the end. But yes, Sunday sounds like a great day for a family gathering. Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. I think that would be very good. Actually, in the afternoon, the moon's going to form a trine with Mercury in the afternoon around 3 p.m. And so that's all good for talking and communicating and, you know, having fun. So I am going to pull some cards for if you any of you have any questions. Please feel free to comment below if you're on Instagram watching me, or if you're on if you're on YouTube and you're watching the pre-recorded version of this. Thank you very much, by the way, for supporting my channel. Like, oh my God, that means so much to me. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers on my channel. I would like to, you know, get that up and running and growing. So if you subscribe, that helps me so much. And also if you like and comment, that's also good too. So if anybody has any questions, I'd love to hear. And I'm also going to pull a card. What do we need to know, you know, for this full moon? I mean, I think that's a thing. Oh, I had a lot of people messaging me, and maybe I didn't say it the last new moon, but on the full moon, remember on the full moon, you're going to burn or destroy your list, okay? So on the full moon, you're going to burn or destroy your list, your new moon manifestation list, and you're going to thank it. You know, thank the angels. I reread my list before I burn it. I always thank the angels. Oh, thank you for working on this and sending me this and this. If they already sent you things, that's always fun. And then burn or destroy the list to release it. Because remember, this is the moon cycle between the moon, the full moon, and the new moon. basically, that's releasing, purging, and letting go. Okay, releasing and purging and letting go. So that's basically what the deal is. Oh no. Okay, so we have a lot of people all of a sudden that are asking questions. I can't get to everybody's question. Oh, they got a kitten that's sick. Oh no, Treehouse Yoga VT. What to do if your new moon list made it into the laundry? Well, you released your list early, I guess. That would be what I would say, is you release the list early and you let that go. Just thank it for its blessings if it's all in little papers. I would still kind of burn those little papers, but if you threw them away, that's totally fine. And thank it for all of the help. So I'm going to just go to where I'm drawn. Shadow Phantom. Well, Wendy said that her mother's best friend committed suicide with a gun. And you think it might have been her husband. I don't understand that. What I would say about that is that's really a very deep, obviously, question. And I'd want to give that some reverence, but I also don't contact souls immediately after they've passed. I feel, and a lot of mediums, a lot of psychic mediums, I think, that I've met anyway, that will not kind of go there immediately after somebody has already crossed over, because there's a theory that your soul kind of has to acclimate and sort of adjust to the other side. Now, they're with God, so obviously they're in good hands. But there's still like a sort of a point, Sylvia Brown used to call it cocooning, where the soul seems like it's kind of cocooned in God's light or God's love or Buddha or whoever it is you pray to, but the universe. But there is a sort of orientation or something that sort of happens when you cross over to the other side. Obviously, none of us knows for sure because we haven't done it recently. So I give it reverence. I give it a little bit of time and space before contacting souls. I don't like to contact them too soon because it sort of disturbs their thing that they're doing over there. I can pull a card for what your mom needs to know, Wendy, and kind of talk to her through that way. But I'm sending you lots of love and lots of. Oh, you feel. Oh, I can't talk to her about that yet, though. I know that that's rough, but I can't talk to her yet about it. The other thing is, too, I actually have trouble hearing them. A lot of other people have said that I know, that are friends of mine, that when they cross over, it's almost like having a bad cell connection. Have you ever driven through mountains or a bad cell and it's like and like it's like, I can't hear you, you're breaking up. That's kind of how it feels like my connection when they first kind of cross over. Every once in a blue moon I'll have a soul that really like punches me, like comes through and like really like doesn't literally punch me, but I mean like the energy comes at me very strongly. I'm not feeling that with her though, because I'm talking about her the whole time. She's kind of doing her thing. So, what does Wendy's mother need to know to help heal her heart, heal her soul? So your mama got two cards. She got the card of agent or manager, okay? And listen only to love. Which, by the way, she's got a harp there. Listen only to love. Agent or manager means that she might need some professional help. Actually, it sounds like a work card, but it's actually about getting outside help and getting maybe professional. So like talking to a grief counselor, talking to somebody that specializes in that area might be helpful for her. and to listen to only to love. Don't allow fear to distract you from your divine mission. It's hard when something like that, I can't say, oh, look, think on the positive side, because it's not positive. It's, a loss, and it's really, really complicated and hard. So, but her fears and her grief might be taking over. But remember, she's with God. No matter how it happened, she's still with God, and she's safe with the angels. So remember that only love, is real. So you'll get to that in the time that it takes. You'll get to the answer. But in the meantime, to remember that she's okay. She'll be crossed over. She'll be with the angels. So, and we'll all pray for her. Okay. But I think that that's really something that, is important. Yeah, respecting her stage in the passing. Right, exactly. That's exactly right. I'm sorry, though, that all of that happened. That's really hardcore. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Tree, you said that's what you were thinking. That's great. Terrence, NYCA, is there a move in your future? And you are a Cancer. Ooh, home and family. You've been having quite a last few years, Terrence. There's been a lot of activity in the last few years for you. I'm almost feeling 3 years have been like a really, Terrence, if you're still on, go ahead and comment below. But I'm really feeling there's been a lot of stuff happening in your life. Okay, so let's look and see. Is Terrence supposed to be moving? What is Terrence gonna be doing? It's okay. Don't apologize. Wendy said sorry it was so heavy. It's not. It's these things happen. These things definitely happen. So this is life, and it's not always easy. Terrence, you've been feeling a little bit of a lack of support recently. Kind of like you're doing everything yourself. You've had to do a lot of things. There's a lot of activity here. There's a lot of movement. I don't know if you've been taking care of an elderly person, a mom, a dad, or even a spouse's mom, spouse's dad, but there feels like there's somebody that's around you that you're like, but it doesn't feel like a child. It feels more like an adult that you've been kind of putting in a lot of time, effort, or energy into. So it's like, it feels complicated. Like there's more than just yourself that you have to kind of worry about or think about. There's this other person that's around you. But yes, I mean, if you want to move, you absolutely can be moving. I mean, this is the card of the Magician. Anybody who knows the tarot deck, this is not classical tarot, by the way. This is my Linda Goodman star cards. But if you have a question about that, the Magician is about, you can do whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it. And one thing you do really crave is stability. If you look at this card, it's like a castle, right? So if you think of moving, hello, like you want to live in a castle. Like if a hurricane came, this thing's not going anywhere. This thing is firm, solid, and steady. So it's kind of like this card. I love this card because it's not necessarily predictive, Terrence, the Magician. It's kind of like whatever you want to do, you can do. Like, it's like you have options and you could do whatever you want. Like, you could stay if you want to stay, or you could move if you want to move. I love this card because it's like reminds us is like you can do whatever it is. And whenever this card comes out, it's a very, very positive card. It just reminds you to believe in yourself, and if it's what you want, you can certainly do it. And you are looking for the right place. It would have to be solid, steady, stable, and secure. But there's been just a lot of things that you've been doing, and I feel like you're kind of carrying that all on your shoulders, like yourself. So I kind of feel like that's a thing. So yeah, I kind of feel like you will move. I kind of feel like that's what you want, but you have to find the right place. That's the thing. I don't know that it's been presented to you yet. I'm almost feeling like August or into September or August. Just make sure that if you're like renting an apartment, or if you're getting a loan on a mortgage or something like that, this card is saying that you need to have your legal stuff all worked out and be good, and like your credit needs to be good, and like all the different things. There might be like a lien or a loan or something you have to pay off before you do this, but it feels good otherwise. It really does. It feels very good. Don't settle. I kind of feel like I want to say that to you. I want you to hold out, because the Magician is telling me that you have more power than what you realize. So I want you to hold out for the right situation, the right deal. And I don't feel like it's here yet. Just letting you know. So I hope that helps, Terrence. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Excuse me. Well, we are almost at the end of the forecast here, and I want to make sure that I have enough time to pull a card, one card for everybody, because remember, we have a lot of energy going on right now. So just to recap, yes, Terrence, you're welcome. I hope that resonates with you. Keep me posted on how that goes. So remember, tomorrow on the 22nd, we have Mercury turning direct. Yay! Okay, in the astrological sign of Gemini. Then on Wednesday, we have the Sun trine Jupiter, but also Venus opposing Pluto, which is kind of a mixed bag. I wish it was just the Sun trine Jupiter. We could still buy a lottery ticket anyway, which is good luck, good fortune, optimism, expansion. It's just that Venus opposing Pluto says, don't get too intense about it. Then we have the full moon, which I can't say we're not going to get intense, because that's intense, and full moons are intense. In Capricorn, what are your hopes, goals, dreams, aspirations? And that is, this particular full moon is the goal, and what does it take to get there? But we might have to leave something behind or something off of our plate in order to achieve our goal, because full moons are about usually removing something or letting something go or whatever to get whatever it is to your goal. Now on Friday, the truth teller, Neptune retrograde, is going to start. That's going to be at 3:21 p.m. on Friday the 25th, where we're finally going to get the truth about something. The fog is going to lift away from our heads, and we will have more clarity and be able to start to see things more accurately, which is very helpful. Sunday, okay, Venus is going into Leo the lion, and we're going to be effusive and grand and over the top and flashy and showy and performing and all those kinds of things. So Venus and Leo, I think, is quite fun. And so yeah, so we're gonna need to pull a card. What do we need to know? Oh, Kathleen, positive thoughts for the trip to the embassy. Yay! For visas for children to travel here. Yes, absolutely. Those kiddos need our good positive vibes. And good news is that Mercury will be going direct tomorrow, which is awesome. Okay, what do you need to know in order to realize your highest, truest, best self? Okay, best energy for all of this planetary stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff this week. What do we all need to know? What's the most important thing we need to know this week for that full moon? Woo-hoo-hoo! Doesn't surprise me at all. Sensitivity. Sensitivity. That's the card, sensitivity. This is Archangel Gabriel. Okay. Remember last week I was telling you guys, Gabriel is the archangel that's associated with the sun, the sign of Cancer. Okay, so Archangel Gabriel cards. Sensitivity. Your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. Remember when I said, this Pisces energy can be quite creative, but boy, Venus opposed Pluto and full moon, yeah, we might be a little sensitive, okay? Full moons are just sensitive. It just is a thing. I mean, we tend to get a little more, that can be a time of being weepy. That can be a time of when the tides are full and women menstruate and all kinds of things are happening at the full moon. So just remember that be these times too shall pass, and our feelings are messy. This Capricorn moon does not like messy feelings, and yet that's exactly what happens. Is the full moon time can get a little messy and a little extra sensitive. This is also a time that we have to remember that we might be a little extra sensitive, but we might be more intuitive, okay? More empathetic, more sympathetic, more intuitive to other people's feelings, needs, emotions, our own feelings, needs, emotions, which is quite important. And it is a time when we can be more sensitive to drugs, alcohol, and medication. So just watch that. You know your own body, and you know your doctor's orders, obviously. But just remember, we want to make sure that we don't overdo, because that Pluto stuff can get intense. So sensitivity, just know that it's a good time to tune into our feelings, into what our soul wants, and to burn or destroy our new moon manifestation list so that we can release it and let the angels, God, the universe, whatever you want to call, do their work, okay, and help us to manifest and get the things that we desire. So I hope that you guys all are having a great week. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to work out that glitch on Facebook. I think I'm not going to work on that until next week when when Mercury worked out all the kinks and the bugs. So I hope that helps everybody. If you haven't yet, go ahead over and subscribe to YouTube channel. And if you want to have a personalized astrological session with me, please feel free to text me. That's usually the fastest. Or you can send me a DM. I'm not as fast as answering those as text, but I will get to you guys. So thank you for joining me on Monday night, and I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Namaste.